Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Realtors about real things. And today we're so excited because we have a special guest, Sergio Martinez from SM Painting, Chico's favorite painter, right?
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Believe
so,
Bringing customer service back.
That's right. Oh, I love that tagline. That's perfect. Sergio and I met because we joined a nonprofit called Point of Contact, and that was to help facilitate people that are on the streets get to where they need to be. But then we he's obviously a painter, and I have lots of clients that needed to have painting done. So we started working together and collaborating on that. So we thought it'd be fun to get him in here and just kind of talk about all things painting, the economy a little bit, and just stuff in general, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
how long you been in Chico? What's your...
I've been here my whole life, so
Yeah.
22 years.
You're only 22 years old? Nice.
Yeah, so 38 years.
Man, that 22 years is hard on you. Oh, he's throwing
What
the
do you
mic
mean
around.
hard on me?
I was gonna
Wow,
say,
Brandy,
because
are
you
you
said you were
serious?
only 22 years old. I'm like, you look older than 22. Sorry.
Hold on, I think we're
What did you
38.
ask her?
If I look like I'm shot out, man. You say, oh, well, hard 22 years. Like, wow, I couldn't even pass for that. That's how Brandy gets down on the
22.
mic.
Sorry, you look good, but you don't look like you're 22. I'm just
I should have
saying.
shaved before I came. Damn, Brandy done put a nail.
All right,
Okay.
so you've been in Chico your whole life.
I've been in Chico my whole life, besides, a few mishaps that I had to,
Move away for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but I've been back. Yeah, I came here. I don't come from too much, and I started this business and been going ever since. Matter of fact, this is my 5th year in business this month. So,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, it is. It's a roller coaster, but,
And you have your wife, Monica, and
Yep.
2 kids.
Yep.
And
I got 3 stepsons.
yeah,
So there's,
wow. And a nice little
But they're
house.
already old, so they're...
They're on their way. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
living at home anymore. And you're just busting your ass all over the place. It seems like working. I know at one point you just didn't even have time to give bids anymore.
Yeah, well,
But-
yeah, still even now.
Yeah.
It's a fluctuating thing, it goes up and down like a roller coaster. It's a hit and miss months, but, basically management, and you got to manage your funds and ensure that you have funds for when the days are slow.
Yeah.
Everything goes with the weather. If it's rainy out, you're not going to get no calls. And it's weird because people don't realize how interlocked they are, because it seems like you'll get nothing and then everybody calls
Everybody
at the
calls
same
at
time.
once and needs
wants
it done
the same
yesterday.
thing.
Yeah.
I need this done, or everyone wants their fence stained, or it's weird. I go, did you just hook up with a bunch of 5 other people to call me today? You know what I mean? Because this is
Yeah.
weird. You guys are all calling for the same thing. So
What's your most frequently? What do you paint most frequently? Interior, exterior?
exterior, we do a lot of exteriors, mostly exteriors. My specialty is cabinets.
Yeah.
I stopped for a long time because I was doing it in my garage, and then my wife, she don't like that. Then I started up again and snuck it back in, and then she finally kicked me out of that. So I went and got a shop. Now we have a shop just for cabinets, doors, trim, molding. People can bring it to me.
Yeah.
We spray it out. We deliver it.
You
know
have
what I
a
mean?
pretty. How big is your crew right now?
Got 4 people. Four people working for me right now. One guy that's been with me for like 3.5 years, and then one guy's been with me 6-7 months, and then goes from there.
Well, we had a great experience. I mean, you came and you happened to be hitting the doorsteps of
Yeah.
California Park, and we already knew each other. And you texted me like, "Hey, it's time to paint the outside." And I'm like, "Well, actually, I really need the inside painted." And
So that's a part of my guerrilla marketing that we do. So when being in business, you got to be a hustler. You have to get out there. Nobody's going to bring it to you. So you have to get out there and get it.
Right.
So I decided, you know what? I printed these flyers up from Vista Print, a few thousand of them. And I hit every house in California Park in 7 days. And I'll tell you what, that was a lot of walking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of houses, but it brings revenue, brings
Yeah.
money in
You
and
got a
keeps
few
my guys
jobs from
busy.
that,
And I
yeah.
got quite a few jobs from that.
So with our experience, I mean, you were there, you came in, you did the bid, you sent me an actual bid, which it's so hard to get a bid from any contractor.
Yeah.
So I got an actual bid. You told me the date you were going to start. I had to change it.
Yep.
You worked with me on
Yep.
that. And Then you got in and said told me exactly how long it was going to take. It was so methodical, the way that you set and how you go through your process. And I think you said, to do the entire inside, it was going to be 4 or 5 days, and you had it done in 3 days, which was awesome.
Well, part of that reason is because Brandy is married to a great DJ, and
that's true. I am.
He had the music going so loud that nobody could talk to each other. So everybody was forced just to work, and it came up with a great idea. So now I make sure that every one of my guys that work for me have headphones in all day long. Music is going very loud, so no one talks to themselves, and it cut down 2 days of man labor. So I was like, this is a good idea. We enjoyed it. And but honestly, the reason that I orchestrated all like that is because I don't want to have confrontations. I want to minimize that. And I don't want to have confusion with my customers. So I make sure that I try to hit every point and make sure that everything is clarified and everybody knows exactly what they're going to get. Right. That way there's no, and I don't like to make people feel uncomfortable either. I like to make sure that my customers are extremely comfortable with me and know and that they're open and welcome to ask me anything, during the process. So I just try to minimize everything from the beginning. And if there is some confusion, then they're comfortable enough to talk to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we get in there, we try to knock it out. And even with knocking it out like that, we want to make sure that we ensure 100% satisfaction.
Yeah.
So even when the job is done, like I did, I'll walk you through, and we're even friends. So it's, a lot of times when friends in business get mixed, problems happen because I feel like I can take advantage. Oh, well, she's not worried about it, but still, I don't do that. Once we sign a contract, that friendship is over. This is business, and I want to ensure that you're happy. You know what I mean?
No, and you did some extras too.
And that's with every customer.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome because, it is, it's hard to, you're a hard worker. Let's just put it that way. And you pretty
takes
much,
one to know one, Brandy.
You do what you say you're going to do. And yeah, it's very refreshing. So thank you for making that happen. And you've helped a lot of my clients do some interior jobs. I think you just did an exterior on that one that was on Valambrosa, and right? You did the interior.
I could say yes. I could say yes or no, but honestly, I do so many jobs. I don't know what I had in a situation the other day. Some lady called me and left a message on my phone and was like, "Hey, Sergio, I'm at this job and I just wanted to make sure that you're going to fix some holes in the ceiling and la." And I'm listening to this message and I'm going, I don't think I even have an interior going right now. And it blew my mind. It was just a mistake, but I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. You know what I mean? Because I'm going, what job am I on right now? So I had to call her back. Well, I called her back and she was convinced that I was there, and then once I hung up, I told her, I'm not doing any jobs. And then I hung up, and then I couldn't get her answer after I started putting thought to it. Like, wait a minute. Is somebody using my name? You know what I mean? So I had to call Lori and had her to go through the chains and find this lady for me to make sure I wasn't there. But it was just a misunderstanding with someone's name. Okay, but it blew my mind. Yeah. But that's how many jobs I do.
That's a good problem to have, though, being busy, right? It's nice. Yeah. And you said maybe it's slowed down a little bit since we've had a little change in the interest rate and the economy.
Yeah, all that, it all fluctuates. Just like you guys with the realtors, interest rates go up and down. We're all in the same line of sales. We're all doing the same thing. You're selling houses, we're selling paint jobs, but it's like the weather. It fluctuates. So, I'm confident it'll come back, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, especially with spring. We're already seeing a little bit of, uptick with spring, but the inventory is really low. Kelsey and I are going to talk about that in a different podcast. But yeah, people aren't putting their homes on the market right now as much as they typically do. So yeah, you're probably seeing that, and all just kind of, what is that, trickles down, as they say?
It trickles down. Well, thankfully, I'm booked out for, 2.5 months for exteriors, but the interior aspect just kind of fell off.
And goes. So, I bet exterior is going to be really happening here soon with the weather getting nicer. What's the weirdest thing you've ever painted?
What is the weirdest thing?
Or the weirdest job you were ever on, or the strangest story?
I would have to think about it.
Yeah.
But I know there's some. I've been in situations. Yeah, I deal with all kinds of customers. That's for sure. From the highest to the lowest to the normalist to the. This guy's a little bit weird. You know what I mean? But I can't think of anything.
What jobs do you like the most? Do you prefer?
I would say exteriors.
Get to be outside.
And the reason why is because when you're doing outside, outside work, you don't necessarily have to worry about damaging the interior of somebody's home.
Right.
You know what I mean? And people are little bit more relaxed when you're outside their house opposed to inside their house.
Right.
They got to move all their property and, their wall, you know what I mean? We'll do it, obviously. But the easiest, most comfortable is the outside, you know what I mean? And then you can work, different late hours, early, you know what I mean, opposed to disrupting somebody's life, you know what I mean?
And that's another thing. When you were doing our interior, you said, we'll be here at this time, and we'll be gone by this time. And that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
It was great. What about, what are the most popular colors right now?
Oh, popular colors is going to be grayish.
Still?
Tan and gray going together.
Grayish.
So it's gray and tan together.
Yeah.
That's the most popular. Tans are really coming back. Sage on the outside, sage and browns are coming back. And if you ever paint your house sage, don't go with the white trim because it looks horrible.
Yeah, mine's kind of like that.
You want to go
with
with
the sagey green.
I learned from a customer that I had, great dude, but this guy was all over color. But he was like, when you paint your home, paint it according to your landscape. So if you have a lot of, greenery, sage and browns go together, make it natural. Don't make it like a stark white with some sage. It just doesn't, it clashes more than anything. So I learned a lot from a lot of my customers. I got a variety of them. So I learned a lot from them.
Tastes and opinions.
Believe me, all of them. But in 5 years, I'll tell you what, in 5 years, I haven't had one bad review.
No.
One bad review in 5 years. And that, believe me, that is not easy to do because people have so many different personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how many times do people change their mind? Well, prior to that happening, I make sure they know what color they want. So, but people I've seen, my biggest pet peeve, and I try to drive this home to customers, is when you do choose your colors or try to pick different colors, do not put the samples directly on the wall.
I know, I did that.
Okay.
You walked in and you're like, don't do that.
And listen, the reason why, and people don't put a lot of thought to this, but the reason why you don't want to brush your colors on the wall is, number one, it builds up a higher thickness than the rest of the area. So when we go to paint over that extra, extra build keeps building, and you have circles on your wall, and it's really hard to get rid of those.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, when you go to choose a color, if you make that permanent on your wall, it's hard to decide. So let's say you have 3 colors you want to choose from. If you paint them on boards, you put tape on the back, you put it on your wall. The minute you put those 3 up there, you already immediately know one color that you don't want. So you can just take that off and eliminate it. But if it's fixated to your wall, you can't get rid of it, and your eye's always going to look at it. You know what I mean? So it's always going to be that question: should I go with this color? So so don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. You know what I mean? But prior to starting the job, I normally don't get out there to start a job for at least 30 days. Normally, I'm pretty booked out. So within that time, I'll help them. You know what I mean? They'll ask me, "Hey, what do you think about this color?" And I'll walk them through that and try to eliminate the. There's people, man, that got 20 different. I've showed up to houses and they, not all the time, they listen to me. They always say, "Did you tell me that?" I can assure you I did. But I went to a house right up the street. We were painting the exterior. We show up and there was at least 25 paint sample colors on the wall. And it was like, oh my Jesus. And you look at the husband and he's like this, like, no worries. But nonetheless, yeah. So I try to eliminate that, that headache, because, and we'll do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
But it helps them as well. Like
Absolutely.
25 colors. Oh my gosh, that's too many.
And you're looking at like, I don't know, $7 to $12 a sample. So you're spending a lot of money in it. You know what I mean? So what I do is I'll drop off like paint fan decks. I'll drop that off, or I'll go to the stores and they have like brochures with 3 different colors that go to certain houses. You know what I mean? I'll drop those off for people so they can look at it. And I'm always available. I make myself available always.
Yeah.
So they can call me and what do you think about this? A lot of times they want to pick gray. And what upsets me is when a contractor doesn't go further than he needs to. You know what I mean? I like to go as far as I can, because what I don't want is to do something and you regret it. So I want to ensure you that you're happy prior to me doing it. You know what I mean? So when people pick grays, they need to understand that your house is not going to be gray. It's either going to be gray blue or gray purple. So you need to figure out which one you want, because when you pick on a digital card, when you know the little paint slot, it's just digital. You know what I mean? It's not really paint.
Right.
So this little card on a broad spot, it's way different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I
And the
eliminate all
sunlight and all of that hits it differently.
shades,
and, yeah.
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't want no one to show up and go, "Oh my God, my house is blue." What the, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need that.
Grays
so
are tough.
I make
Yeah.
sure that we eliminate all that.
Just
Go
go
like
white.
my house. My house is completely alabaster white with a pink door. So you know what I mean? Yeah, you know my girl wants that, so that's what she gets. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I get people sometimes. I got a big window in the front of my house, and when I first did it, I would get trucks drive by and they'll stop, reverse, and I'll see them looking. I go, "What are these people looking at?" And then it dawns on me they're looking at the pink door.
Okay, so how can people get a hold of you if they're looking to paint their home?
You can call me. You can email me. You can. I'm everywhere. My internet presence is strong. If you go to Google and put hashtag Chico's favorite painter, I'm gonna show up everywhere. I got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google. I got a personal website,
Yeah, I'm looking at
smpaintingchico.com. I'm
smpaintingchico.com.
everywhere. All you got to do is
And the phone number, can I say your phone number?
Yeah.
530-321-1592. That's kind of close to my number. 321-1592 is how you can reach Sergio. You can text him.
Yep. Well, don't text me, because the
No?
problem with texting is there's so many scams. I get texts all the time from people that aren't real people.
Okay.
So that's
So
the only.
call
Just
him.
call me, and then from there out we can
Then we
text.
can
Once we
text, yeah.
establish that you're a real human
Yeah,
being,
right.
we can text after that.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming by
Yeah, absolutely. It
and
was a
hanging out with
pleasure,
us
and
for a
thank
little
you for
bit.
inviting me.
And thanks for the hat. Did I get the one that's the camo? I've
Absolutely.
been wanting the camo hat, so.
I got it all, man. So SM Painting, Chico's favorite painter, and don't ever forget.
I have actually two of these already. They just don't have this one, and so I do wear them when I want.
So the support is I'm thankful.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for your support. You're always saying nice things about us, so we appreciate that.
Well, the best real estate company in Chico and surrounding area. Don't forget that either.
All right.
Laughins.
Yeah, we'll take it. Okay, well, peace out, everybody.
Thank you.